Hi there. My name is Scott Marker. I'm the franchise owner of Network in Action here in the Treasure Valley, Idaho. I'm the first franchise in Idaho. We have franchises all across the United States. They're based out of Houston, Texas. And I run a once a month professional networking group. Actually, I have three groups, and it's bringing in like-minded business professionals and business owners to try to help each other businesses grow. And off of that, I came up with this blog, which is Treasure Valley QuickTips. I'm bringing in local business professionals and owners to pass on tips to other professionals here in the Valley. And today I'm actually very honored to be interviewing Lyman Belnap. So introduce yourself, Lyman.
Hello, I'm Lyman Belnap. I'm an attorney here in Boise, Idaho. Moved into the Valley in 1977 and have been here ever since, except for a couple of tours outside of the United States in Latin America as legal counsel. Have a
Wow, that's
small
great.
law firm here in Boise. Ready for the question.
Yeah. So a question is like, why did you become an attorney?
Probably for the wrong reason. I decided I wanted to, well, it's a short story, but it's an interesting one. The Brigham Young University Law School had just been announced, and they had no students, they had no building, and I was sitting in a student government meeting as the executive administrator to the student body president of the university at that time. After the end of the meeting, the newly called president of the law school turned to me and said, "Lyman, what are you going to do after you graduate?" And I said, "Well, Harvard turned me down on trying to get an MBA, so I'm going to go into business for myself and move to Albuquerque." And he said, "Well, if you ever change your mind, I'm hereby giving you a standing acceptance to the law school."
Wow.
And so that planted the seed. I went down and started my business in Albuquerque, applied and got accepted to the charter class of the law school, but couldn't get my business sold, and came in at the second class and met my first year in the St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Elementary School. And then later we went into our building. And I thought it would be a great profession in order to learn how to write. And that was the mistake. You should already know how to write if you're going to go to law school.
That's awesome. Wow, I've known you for a while. I didn't hear that. I haven't heard the whole story. That's awesome. So what do you think distinguishes you and your law firm from other law firms here in the Valley?
I think it has to do with the fact that I'm a farmer, and that when you grow up as a homesteader, as I did, trying to scratch a living out of the desert, you learn some principles that I've applied to the practice, and it seems to have clicked with the clients. One, I find that I'm one of the very few attorneys in the Valley that actually picks up the phone when it rings. And even more rarely, one who always returns phone calls and always returns them within the day of the call. So when someone calls and said, "I have left a couple messages for Lyman and he hasn't returned my call," my people can immediately accuse the client or potential client of being a liar, because I don't go home until all calls have been returned. And you would be amazed on how many clients I picked up simply because I'm willing to talk to them. Again, another one of the principles learned on the farm is you learn how to get the water to the end of the row. And you do whatever it takes to get the water to the end of the row. You also learn that there comes a time when you have to quit fiddling with and adjusting the equipment and actually cultivate or plow or harvest or plant. And those principles have carried over into the practice. I'm not the smartest attorney in town, but I seem to be able to attract and keep great clients here in the Valley. I get the work out the door, which seems to be something that might be a little rare for attorneys, and I've picked up clients from some of the larger and better firms, in my opinion, here in the Valley, simply because I'm able to get the water to the end of the road, get the work out the door in an acceptable fashion with a reasonable charge. And that's how I built the practice.
That's a fantastic analogy. And it's true. Going back to the beginning, I've heard numerous times from other professionals like yourself that it's amazing. Attorneys, accountants that they don't return my calls. You know, I've been a client for 20 years, and now it's important that I talk to the person. They don't return my calls. And so it seems like something so simple, but you know, a lot of times it's the simple things in life, you know, makes customers happy.
It is. And for example, I just received an email, just popped on the screen, from a client that I did legal work for probably 12 years before I ever met him.
Wow.
Because I was willing to return his phone calls and get his work out the door. He handled it all electronically, and it's worked.
Yeah. And you're being humble, which is very nice, but I'm just saying, I've heard lots of great things about you, about what a great attorney you are. In fact, there's a new attorney that is from, and you know him, and he's, you know, was up in Seattle area for a long time, and now he's moved back. And I mentioned to him, I said, you know, hey, I know Lyman Belnap. Do you know him? He goes, who doesn't know him? and it was honestly like in a very positive way. Like, he has one of the best reputations in Idaho as an attorney, and he's very well known for just impeccable ethics and just being a great guy. So that's awesome. Hey, so what, you know, you've been an attorney for a few years. So what's the future of you and your firm going forward, the next foreseeable future?
Well, I always tell people that my kids have guaranteed that I'll die in the chair. But the way the practice is going and the way it's increasing, I have to grow or merge with another firm. And so I'm always looking for that special person that I could bring in, that I would have confidence in turning over a fairly extensive book of business to, and retire. But I think I'd probably be bored in about an hour. So I'm not looking to retire. I'm just looking to actually grow the firm.
Wow, that's impressive.
I had it up to a 9-man firm 7 years ago and sold out. And I'm now back renting from my old firm. But right now I'm a solo practitioner with 2 great paralegals, and away we go.
Well, that's awesome. Well, perfect. Hey, well, it's been great. And again, it's an honor to talk, you know, be able to talk to you today. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I put your contact information in the show notes under the video. So the best way to get a hold of you, Lyman. And again, I really appreciate you coming in today. And it was great and an honor. And I'll be seeing you soon.
Well, thanks for having me on the team, and looking forward to our next meeting.
Perfect. Thanks, Lyman.